Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. We're back for a few weeks podcast. Well, we're back until there's nothing to talk about, and then we don't force shows. That's gonna be our running motto from this point on. And this week, pretty easy topic. We're gonna be talking about the patch 5.5 patch notes, some of the surprises that hit us in there, and of course, some of the things we expect. A little bit of anticipation for 5.5, and of course, 5.55 with Zadnor and the rest of the Save the Queen content, and of course, the finale of Shadowbringers. And for that, we're gonna need some people to talk about it. I'm one of them. You don't care, Mr. Happy, whatever. Sly's here. You like him? That's good. What's up, Sly?
Yeah,
how you doing?
Yeah, you don't care.
I care.
I'm here. Thank you. I appreciate.
Man, this podcast has really gone from "Hey, how you doing?" to we know you don't care.
It is so self-deprecating now. It's kind of been that way for a while anyway. But you don't care about us.
The last year has really done that to us more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you don't care about us.
Yeah, you don't care about us.
You don't care about us. You care about the third person who's here.
Hey, it's me. I'm here. You care about me, right? I haven't quite succumbed to that level of nihilism yet. I mean, I understand it, right? Like, if you guys are still here, then there's not really any point selling it to you. We're what, like 600 episodes in at this point.
271.
Yeah. If you're still here, then well, not much to be said, is there?
Yeah, we've already ruined enough of your life to the point where we'll just skip past the part you're used to, so we can get to the meat.
Yeah.
The meat of it.
And that said, we're at the point where I probably don't need to introduce myself either. You guys know who I am. And yes, I did have a haircut. I cut my hair. It was getting a little too much, so
I know that feeling.
It off a bit.
Sly does not know what that feeling is like. He keeps that shit clean.
Does it still grow anymore? It does?
Yeah, it grows back so fucking fast once I cut it all off. It just, like, the beard's still growing, but like my hair, whenever I go bald, like it grows back just like that. It's like a week later, you'll see it.
Sly, we call that naturally clean. You're just naturally clean. There's some maintenance involved here that I don't really partake in as frequently because I could become a mess before I become clean again.
Yours takes ages to grow back though, Happy. Like you went clean like not too long ago. Like you were baby faced yet again, and then like
I'm naturally baby.
It's coming so.
I looked like this again within a day is the thing, and then it stays that way for like,
and then it stops,
and then it stays that way for a month and a half, and then it all happens at once again. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 14 patches.
There's the segue.
There we go. Nice segue.
Nice segue. Well, I mean, I got to thank the sponsors first, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors, by the way. Steel Series, monthly giveaways, discount code. I don't know that they even listen to the show to see if I do the shout out because it's so omnipresent in everything.
one day just don't do it and you get an email.
Listen, they're happy with my more casual take on dealing with shouting out sponsors, and that's true here too. So thank you to them. And hopefully I'll continue to thank them, and they won't be like, no, that's the last straw. We can't have that anymore. That's not professional enough. But, please love me. And please love our sponsor. Thank you to Steel Series. And thank you, of course, to our patrons whose names... So this is going to be a little bit of adding the pre-show into the post-show. So we've learned why OBS keeps breaking, and for some reason, it really detests window capture about 3 months out of the year. And we're in a 3-month window where it just detests it. So that's why those aren't there. I luckily added in the sponsor names post-show. So I just do that in post, thankfully. That's fairly easy to do. It just means an overnight render and a morning upload. So those will be there, and you will be thanked properly. But the chat is going to be gone until I get my new PC, and then I'm going to redo all my OBS settings from scratch and figure out why the hell that's actually happening, because I really don't get it. It makes no sense. It didn't happen for the longest time, and the fact that it's back and it's just window capture. So even this scene with us three, it hates, and I don't know why. It just does. It does. Even OBS doesn't want us to be here.
OBS has officially gotten tired of our shit.
Yeah.
After 200 and something shows.
No, it did this for a while, and I had to like play it super cautiously, but now it's just back again. Yeah. I don't get it. But thank you to everyone who is here. Your existence will be remembered by us.
Acknowledged.
Acknowledged? Yeah. Here's the thing. I can do a chat capture, but it's like the widget one. So like everyone who's watching live, you'll see it. And it just like it comes in and out, but it's also the smallest window imaginable. So it just like really awkwardly sits on the screen until, yeah, there you go. That's as close as it gets. So, but that'll go away. See, there it goes. It's all gone. All right. With that, before we dive into the patch notes, Ethys, I asked you like last minute to be on the show when I confirmed when it would actually be. So I do want to give you the opportunity to present your thoughts on what we saw last week. That can be anything from the trailer to any comments made by Yoshida about anything interesting that you have on your mind. We will be your forum right here.
I mean, I'm sure you guys had like a good talk about it last week, but for me, after watching the trailer and for like the next sort of 2 hours, all I could think about was Tiamat.
Oh yeah, that was the whole show pretty much for us too. Yeah. It was all about tea. Oh, that's the name of the patch. It's not Death Before Dawn. It's all about tea.
It's about before Tiamat.
All about tea.
Big T.
A couple of things I found sort of interesting there is that despite the fact we're going to Pagothan, no doubt to deal with the tower there, it seems that we're actually fighting Ifrit at Cartano.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys spotted that.
Oh, we made very big mention of the fact that it looks like Lunar Bahamut is the final boss of the dungeon, and Lunar, and then some of the other lunar summons are present in Cartano.
Yeah, Ravana's at Cartano as well. So it looks like that's going to be an interesting single player instance with a bunch of the NPCs, which I'm.
It looked like we were role playing as a bunch of different, because it looks like you control Graha. It looks like you control a few different scions there. So it looks like you'll be like it's a bunch of different fighting squads trying to deal with all the primals at the same time, and you'll. So be,
you're
like,
thinking maybe A team is going to Pagothan and then B team is going to Cartano, perhaps. That,
or we're one of the you know how like we end the Xenos encounter with us making it there in time, kind of like that, but this is like one group is like Fordola and Ehrenwald and whatever, and another one is Urian Jayish, Tola, and Alice, and another one is Graha. Yeah, so that's what it looked like to me. And it's just like the idea is those are all happening at the same time, but you're kind of just like bouncing between them to make it all make it all happen. And also, Ifrit comes out of the tower directly. We were inside the tower when you see Ifrit in the trailer. So
yeah, yes, and you can actually see the Amaljar like embedded in crystals, like in the wall. And the whole setup just makes me think of Turn 10, right? After you fight Imdagud, and Alize's like, where are all the worshippers? Oh, Doi, and then looks around and sees them all, in the stasis tubes. Yeah. That, there's something really similar going on here that, like, I still think the towers are probably compelling people to summon in the same way that the Keening was in the ancient world. But that it has this sort of extra effect of kind of neurolinking, right? But like magically rather than etherochemically, and that is placing these primals under Fandaniel's control, or whoever in the Empire's control. No, I'm so excited for it. Like I did not expect. I don't know why, because we've seen Lunar Bahamut, right? And we know the connection between Bahamut and Tiamat. It never occurred to me that Tiamat would show up in 5.5.
I think we did mention that we wanted to see Tiamat when we saw Lunar Bahamut. I feel like I recall on State of the Realm us being like, I mean, Tiamat, come on. It's your time.
Oh, no, Sly definitely mentioned it, but like I didn't like seriously consider it. And I think it was really just because like she didn't show up during the Calamity or during Coil, but then again, Azazla was like still sealed off then. So
yeah,
is it more the fact that she couldn't, or like she really didn't have a motivation to up until I guess this point?
Yeah,
it's like she's there, she's been there for some time, and we're like, and I've been for many years. Free Tiamat, no, she don't want to go nowhere.
Yeah. I think there's two components to this. One is the fact that whatever this lunar Bahamut is perverting Bahamut's memory and Bahamut's spirit, probably in like a very real way, as we come to understand summoning more and more. And secondly, goes way, way, way back to an interview that I had with Yoshida before Stormblood, where I was talking about the dragons and the Dragon Song War and like what comes next for the dragons after that, and whether, you know, Vidofnir and Vidrfolnir and the other Dravani and Schreisfelger's brood would start getting involved in the Garlean conflict. To which he said, well, they have no reason to. Like, the stakes aren't high enough for them. They look at the Garlean Empire as just like, you know, barely worth. It's just like a blink of an eye in their lifespan. They don't think it's serious enough. They don't think it's a big enough of a threat. The stakes would have to be way, way, way higher. So perhaps Tiamat and, you know, everyone else is starting to realize that this is not another calamity we're dealing with. This is the end of days. And if they don't step up now, then there's not going to be anything to step up to. So I just like everything about the trailer just shows how much they're raising the stakes and how much they're establishing the stakes for Endwalker. Like, we're dealing with all these lunar primals now. They're not going to be trickled throughout Endwalker. What comes next, what we have to face in Endwalker, is going to be something worse. It's going to be something a step above these lunar primals. This is just like phase 1 we're dealing with. So yeah, I'm incredibly excited about it. Did you guys have anything last week that you kind of like stumbled on or deliberating about, or perhaps felt was unresolved?
Nothing that I won't find out on. Like, I'm convinced that when Diamond Weapon sheds his armor in the trailer, that he literally looks exactly like Xenos. Essentially, he takes on he's got the like long skirt kind of thing, and he's just got like the tight black upper body. I feel like he's gonna be like full on like maniacal bastard. That's about the only thing. And then wondering if Gaius is facing off against Valens in the trailer. Also, not very many things I feel like would compel him at this point to fight.
I really hope so. He deserves that shot, honestly. The other thing, I guess, like speaking about some of the side content, the idea of Zadnor being the sort of border between Damaska and Bozja is really interesting to me, and how that might fit into, you know, the rest of what we know about the geography there. And then the raid is Dalriada. And do we think that is just going to be the airship?
I mean, they show as much in the trailer that it's the airship. Yeah.
I mean, we see the airship.
It's not that I don't think that I think something. It's not just deep in the airship. I think the airship might be covering up something that's happening underneath it. Some sort of some sort of ruin similar to Delibram. Not as deep as Delibram, obviously, but I just like that they're using the perfect Alexander model to slap some fools around with giant fucking robot. Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how the Cthulhu Esper is going to be distinct from the Cthulhu Void set, like how they're going to explain that, and that maybe there's some weird sort of connection between primals and Void set. Maybe it's the Cthulhu we fight in the Void Arc. You know, we know they were using Auracite and then ended up like having it bleed out and give them these sort of transformations. Maybe Cthulhu is the entity that was like originally trapped in that. I don't know. I'm really curious about that.
So you think there's more? There might be more of them drawing from Void Arc in this besides Cthulhu. Like,
maybe
you think there's a possibility of Skothic or anybody else?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think they're using Cthulhu because of the Final Fantasy 12 and Tactics reference. But I'm curious to see how they justify that, if they do justify it.
They'll just change the first one's name and then rewrite the quest real quick like they did with what's his face way back then.
Yeah,
that was so funny. Still, I love looking
with
back.
Megathon and Acheron.
Yeah, with Acheron. Yes,
maybe.
Yes, it was this name. Always this name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of Crystal Tower, I'm obviously wondering if that's Venat. Silver Tier was a big one.
Yeah, well, it's Silver Tier. It's right in front of the Keeper of the Lake.
Yeah.
You know, we've been hearing so much about the presence of... Well, we haven't been hearing. We've been talking a lot about the presence of Silver Tier.
Yeah.
We've been hearing conspicuously little about it.
After being told we would hear more about it is the weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's very possible that that's Venat. I think that's like a little obvious.
So it won't
and
be
makes
because
me feel
it's
like,
yeah. It's like it's one of those where it's like that's kind of the natural conclusion, so probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I that's why I'm hesitant to like. I don't feel that comfortable saying that, but I agree that it's the most obvious.
Well,
like guess.
I think once again we're establishing the stakes in 5.5, and we're establishing the fact that the stakes have literally never been higher. That we're not on the brink of a calamity here. We're on the brink of the destruction of the whole planet, the source, and all the shards, right? So if we start thinking all along the lines of, well, Venat showing up, why hasn't Venat shown up before now? Why was Hydaelyn just speaking to us in a disembodied voice or using Minfilia as the word of the mother rather than, you know, projecting herself like Ellentill if she could always do this? And, you know, a possible conclusion could be, well, it's a huge strain and it's literally like a Hail Mary, like worst case scenario. Once again, it's now or never sort of deal. So I hope it is Venat because, you know, we'd have a lot of questions for Venat.
Yeah. Not to mention we have set the precedence with Ellentill of self-separating from, you know, the entity in some degree, being a shard.
Yeah. Of course. But again, the question in that case is just like, why now? Why has she never done this before? Why have we not seen this before? And I mean, obviously, it's because they hadn't written that part of Ellentill's character until you know,
for me,
the beginning of Shadowbringers.
What's crazy is I wonder if on the moon, if we were to, and there's no jokes here, if we were to summon primals on the moon, would it weaken Zodiark similar to how summoning primals on the source weakens Hydaelyn?
So the moon is barren, right?
Right.
And it could be barren for one of two reasons. It could be barren for the same reason that the burn is barren, where it's just completely cut off from any ethereal source. It has no ether flowing through it.
Which I don't think is the case because we're going there and it's a place. Yeah.
Right. So the alternative is that it could be barren, like the empty is barren, where it's just been polarized to umbral and the ether's all there, but it's just
stagnant,
not going anywhere. Yeah, it's stagnant. And talking about Zodiark being like on one hand sort of, you know, trapped and shackled, but on the other hand talking about him as if he's dead and as if that's his corpse. Like either one of those scenarios could account for that. But in the former, you probably couldn't summon anything there. Whereas in the latter, yeah, you could probably do like Eden stuff with it.
Eden stuff.
I wonder.
Eden stuff. That's what they're referring to it.
Well, I mean,
do some
like
Eden stuff.
I mean, like you could find a way to sort of, you know, convert that ether and summon it into some sort of entity. But I think that in either one of those scenarios, the towers are going to be about sort of correcting that, right? Whether it's a lack of ether or it's an imbalance of ether, the towers are going to be about connecting the source and the moon and correcting whatever's going on up there. The
ultimate way to summon Zodiark if he's short on ether is to just suck it all from Hydaelyn. Yeah.
And the question again is like, well, why only now? Why did the Ascians not do that before? And it's because the Ascians wanted to do the rejoining. Yeah. Right? That they wanted to bring all the shards together to bring their friends back. And that they weren't going to, you know, resurrect Zodiark until they had done that. But Fine Daniel doesn't care about the Ancients.
He literally just wants to give Xenos his end of days battle, and then that's it. It's all over.
Well, and whatever else he sort of wants out of it, eventually find out. But yeah, like he's got no qualms with sort of taking the shortcut and just like, all right, what we've got, like this ether, this like 9 out of 14 we've got, this 8 out of 14 we've got, I should say. Yeah, that's enough. That'll do. Like, just let's roll with it. Let's go.
I'm down.
In academia and what was the other dungeon?
Anamnesis?
God. Yeah, Amnesis. We saw allusions. We saw allusions to the ancients and what they were like specialized for and known for. We haven't gotten anything like that with Fandaniel. We don't know how he was. We haven't gotten like a kind of echo flashback to how he was as an ancient or anything. We just know he's just fucking batshit crazy now. Is there anything to say like what he specialized in the convocation?
I mean, not as far as we know. All we've got is like when we picked up his crystal, and I think his was the one where he's talking about like, oh, something strange is happening to me, and we sort of read that as like that being, an allusion to the tempering that was occurring. Some people have suggested that it might have been that there was something wrong with him or something wrong with his crystal, like from the very beginning, which I suppose could be interesting, could be a way to make his character a little deeper, a little more compelling. But I don't know. I really think I don't think Fandaniel's the big bad. I think we're going to end up like drop kicking him, and then whatever's actually going on is like he's only going to be a catalyst, But
so you think there's something driving him or something behind him, like.
I don't know if there's something behind him. I don't like the idea of him being driven by the aspirations of his ancient counterpart. I think the whole point of Endwalker is that we're moving beyond that, is that we're seizing the reins of history, right? We are not Azem. We are not the ancients. They were forced to summon Zodiac to overcome this end of days, but we're going to find another way because we are not them. And this world, our world, belongs to the people that live now, not as inheritors or as like shadows or echoes or reflections of ancient people, but as of their own, distinct people. That's what our journey is about, I think. And I think that, that's why Fandaniel celebrates when he finds out Ellentill is dead, because he's like, wow, I'm suddenly not beholden to ancient Fandaniel. I can do what I want. I can chase my aspirations. That's sort of how I read all that anyway.
And one thing I'm kind of hoping, because with the more recent Asians we dealt with Emote Selk, with Ellentill, we've kind of gotten that, that kind of redemption, that kind of redemption at the end of it. I don't want that with Fandaniel. I want it to be like,
we didn't get it with
I want it to be fucking done with.
Redemption's a strong word.
Well, I say we didn't.
I mean, it's a strong word. Yeah, we didn't get it with La Brea.
No, we might still though.
We got a slight one with the Ellentill at the end.
I think like understanding, right? And you're right that it makes them human, it makes them compelling, but it also makes them far less frightening. Again, like Asians for us, they used to be these chaotic entities. We had no idea what they wanted or who they were. It seems like they just wanted chaos and destruction for the sake of it. And that made them scary, and that made them unpredictable. And like Emote and Ellentill, since we learned what they're about, suddenly became I mean, on one hand, more interesting, but on the other hand, like
humanized,
sort of, well, like banal, right? It's like, oh, we get it, Suddenly, the wind is sort of taken out of them, and they're not scary anymore. Which is why I like Xenos and why I like Fandaniel, because right now they are capable of anything. Like we're off trying to save the world, and Xenos is bored, so he goes home and murders his dad. Just because like he's got nothing better to do, and because he doesn't. Yeah, exactly. And that's like, hell yeah, that's interesting to me. So I'm with you, Sly. I kind of hope that Fandaniel just turns out being a monster, you know, because we haven't had that for a while,
quite some time. Yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, they like to give a lot of the big bads sort of that humanization. I mean, we saw it with Gaius. We're still seeing it with Gaius. But all of his underlings, they were completely enthralled. You know, a lot of his like, we're not going to see Valens get a fucking redemption. Like, let's be very clear about that. Gabranth is presenting not as pure evil. He's presenting as a different ideology, but the tactics he's willing to use is
lawful evil.
Yeah, it's lawful evil is as close as I can maybe describe for Gabranth.
That's I think that's fair.
But we don't. Yeah, almost nobody is other than Xenos and now Fandaniel is quite literally just I don't. Fuck all of you. I have no. I just want to
watch the world burn.
Fandaniel even goes as far as to say, like, I'm not gonna. You can't fucking convince me. You're not gonna talk me out of anything. I don't want to hear it. Just shut up and die. It's literally his first impression is to let them know there's no middle ground here.
Yeah. I think it'll be more compelling if, like, at the end of this arc, we finally come back to, like, okay, yes, there's all these shades of gray, everything's complicated, but at the end of the day, it is still, like, good versus evil, light versus darkness, you know, and these sort of universal forces end up having to clash at some point. Yeah. And for that reason, I hope that we don't start feeling kind of sympathy for Fandaniel or Xenos, because I feel like it's a detract from a little bit. We've had enough of that. Actually, speaking of Noah, I had one more point on him with Dalriada, the raid. That's another historical reference, kind of like how Alamut was before they renamed it to Alermic. Dalriada was a medieval northern Gaelic kingdom that I believe like spanned Northern Ireland and Northern Scotland. That was basically wiped out when the sort of during the early Viking invasions of the Northern Irish coast. But I'm suspecting based on that it's not going to be the name of the ship. The ship's going to be part of it, but Dalriada is perhaps what Noah is trying to call his new kingdom. What he's trying to establish is his new kingdom.
This is essentially that he's basically planting the capital in this location. Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense because it sits between two areas he's actively trying to, you know, dominate and take over to start. So it's the perfect center point. And then as you just said, it sits. Yeah. I mean, that was the whole point of the original
between two nations.
Yeah. It's essentially Luxembourg.
Yeah. Similar idea. Yeah. It was a sort of like 5th century, like nautical Luxembourg, I suppose. Somewhat ironically, it's sort of the same kind of nation that a lot of the Viking conquerors were sort of trying to establish, like between the British Isles and Scandinavia. They're trying to create this sort of like almost transatlantic kind of empire. But I'm really interested to see how that plays out. I'm really curious to learn what is there and like what's so special about that region. And just like filling out some more like geography in that part of Ilzabad is cool.
Man, so one thing I really noticed before we're going to go into the patch notes in just a minute, because now that we've gotten all that out of the way, which you want to, not one of us sitting here. Anyway, moving on. Listen, I had to do it.
We did it.
I can give you one sentence on me. I can give you one sentence on me.
No. We'll save it for the patch notes because we're going to get to it in the patch notes, and then we're going to have to talk about it in the patch notes.
All right. Okay. Let's do it. Lead the way.
Ethys, there's something I want to share. No, there's something I want to share with you, but I'm going to wait till we get there too because it has to do with it. All right, so we're finally going to talk about the patch notes now, which let's be honest, we'll still end up bringing back, you know, bits of the trailer as reference points. The MSQ we can never really say. Like, when they just list quests, there's never really much we can say. I mean, there's Unto the Breach, Here Be Dragons. Great name for a quest, which I can only assume is where we go and speak to Tiamat. Yeah. Although, actually, Righteous Indignation is literally from Estinian in Azus Law. So, that says really all you need to know about, you know, what that quest is going to be. And I love that Estinian is the one that's going to kind of break Tiamat out of the... Because they both have stories that are very ingrained, but with different dragons. So there's kind of like a light camaraderie there that's reminiscent of the times before Thordan the First. And I'm kind of all about it. I'm big time about it. Of this being kind of... What was the name of it? The set that you get at level 70 that talks about the times when Dragoons didn't hunt dragons, they fought alongside them. What's the set's the name of that force?
It's like Dragon Rider or something?
Yeah, it's something pretty simple if I recall. But I just remember the level 70 set is said to be the same set that the Dragoons of old wore when they fought alongside dragons.
Estinian, again, like, his armor is called Iceheart, and his lance is named Nidhogg, and it's, you know, bathed in and transformed by the blood of Nidhogg, and he's taken up that mantle and taken up that cause. And it's kind of like in Star Trek when you've had two characters that have had like a mind meld, you know? That's basically Estinian and Nidhogg at this point. And I think that Tiamat would recognize that Estinian sort of, in many ways, shares a mind with Nidhogg and speaks with Nidhogg's voice.
Yeah.
I'm really, really curious to see that interaction. I think that's going to be very poignant.
Yep, me too. Especially because Tiamat seems to fight with you at some points in the dungeon.
Yep.
I'm excited. Then it goes into Nier, which the quest names here, there is actually a little bit to go on with Brave New World. Konog alone is an interesting one too. But you can't dive too much into it without more of the context. The more interesting thing here is our Nier fuckery that we knew we were going to get. But that is really, I'd say it's really the principal aspect that Nier is kind of driving. This is the driving point of any Nier fans' expectations of things to go really sideways. There's 3 weekly story quests that may be completed to continue the story. Now, it's not made clear if you get one of these per week, unless it'll take 3 weeks to finish the story. Sounds like a very Final Fantasy XIV thing to do. Or if you can do all 3 of these quests weekly, and this is where you would get, you know, some sort of weekly reward. Granted, they already say you can exchange one of each coin, so I don't think it's that. I think it's 1 quest per week, but it's going to continue the story. And I can't help but feel like that's the true, and these are endings B, C, and D, essentially.
Okay.
And I'm literally banking on these being how I judge Nier, not by the end of the third weekly quest. So that's where I make my final judgment here.
I think that's reasonable.
It has to be. You just can't. You can't do it until the very end. So, but at this, in the comment section, I think on a Q&A I did a couple weeks ago, somebody said, "I swear, Haps and Ethys just dislike Nier, and other people just decided to copy them and not like it also." And I'm like, you don't think it could be because some people just didn't drew the same conclusion? Is it really?
That is extremely flattering. The idea that Mike and I have enough influence to generate the amount of apathy and disinterest in the community towards these raids is extremely flattering.
That's how I felt. I was like, no, I just think some other people
I should put that on my CV, honestly. Next time I'm trying to go for like a promotion campaign, I should be like, hey, there's millions of people that play Final Fantasy XIV that aren't interested in the Nier story. That's because I said it was boring. No, look, I'm with you. Like, I'm hanging in there. I haven't sort of written my opinion in stone about this questline, despite how it may appear and despite the fact that we've been making memes and jokes about it for the last year. I've been saying, like, we just got to wait and see how it turns out.
Wait and see.
And particularly with what we're looking at here. Yeah, I'm optimistic at this point. Cautiously optimistic. Yeah. At this point, I'm looking at this final raid and like, yes, it's the sort of hacker city thing from Automata, but it's so like evocative of Mount Gorg that I'm like more convinced now than ever that they are drawing some connection between Nier and the Flood of Light. And that whole phenomenon in the Nier canon, with some sort of like ethereal polarity, ethereal corruption kind of phenomena, and I think they are going to find an interesting way to bridge that gap. I just think that, like, particularly with multiple endings, it has to be like fairly low impact, in the same way that like Eureka had all this interesting story and lore about it, but the decision at the end of Eureka had to be pretty much inconsequential for like the world at large.
Well, that's why I don't think they're different endings so much as the same way Automata works, where the endings eventually just kind of collapse into a true ending kind of deal. But like they're called A, B, C, D, and E, but realistically, you know, D and technically E are, you know, they're what the final result intends to be. That's what I expect this final quest to be, the true end result of the story.
Okay.
So not actual branching choice, because I agree it would make it really tough to do that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the raid. Like, I think as just raids from like mechanical design standpoint and like atmospheric and the sort of like diegetic narrative of the instance themselves, they've all been fantastic. They've all been really, really good. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play it. I'm just not like holding my breath to have some kind of, you know, big like, you know, turn 12 Louis Soir Phoenix moment, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if there is also New Game Plus stuff, though, because we know Yorha is being added to New Game Plus as well.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah.
The real thing that I know we're all interested in the most is Sorrow of Warlet, and the finale of that, because we want to see Valens burn out his own bad.
I just want to see robot shit. I don't know about you. I mean, I do want to see that too. But
so you want to know something? So Sly, I have a group for Tuesday for us to do Extreme right when it wakes up. Our group is Missile Kickers. Balana named it Missile Kickers.
That's such a good animation, though.
It is. It's very welcome. Yeah, Sly was losing his shit last week when we saw that the G Warrior is the arena, essentially. Yeah, and the parallels drawn between some Gundam stuff. Is there a trope here that I'm missing? Yes.
It's the Androbium from Stardust Memory 0083. That's basically what the G Warrior is now. So he's become a walking, like a flying missile silo.
Right.
Missing a big ass gun. I kind of hope there is a big ass gun in a phase or something. Like, I really fucking hope there is.
What's nice about this series is there's a lot of obvious passion for the people who are making it and what they know and what they do. So it's as someone who's not even like, I'm not into Gundam. I like giant mechs, but I always go more directly to Armored Core. Like, that's always my big thing. Like, I don't go to Gundam or anything like that. But to see it is actually a pretty welcome sight, because you can tell they really want to do a good job with everything. It's been pretty evident since the G Warrior, especially, and it's just continued to be a major relevant factor.
Well, to consolidate that framing, I remember when the guy who wrote Dad of Light, when he passed recently, and Yoshida wrote that sort of eulogy. Yeah, he was talking a lot about how they bonded over their shared passion for Gundam, right? And how they would constantly be talking about it and like sharing like models and stuff like that. And I can't help but feel like some part of G Warrior and Whirlet in its design is an homage to that relationship. So I think it is something like very kind of personal to Yoshida and his passions, which is it's nice.
It comes through.
Yeah.
Whether or not that is the full intention, it comes through.
Yeah.
So what do we think of the implication in the Japanese title that we're trying to capture the diamond weapon? Is that Gaius's idea or is that Cid's idea? Because if it's Gaius's idea, like he should know better by now.
So we're a couple minds of this. Like I think it's mainly because we're trying to save Allie. Like we're doing everything we can to save Allie. Even when we figure out a way to prevent Oversoul from killing Allie, because she, as we can see, she's the pilot.
She is. It could be a red herring. To be fair, we don't know that for certain. But
yeah, you're right.
The trailer implies that she does what she kind of says what she's going to do. In 5.4, she basically implies she's going to go steal the diamond weapon.
I thought she was going to steal the G Warrior.
Well, I thought she was going to go steal the diamond weapon and go do some dumb shit. And it looks like she does that, but we already know in 5.4 that Valens can control it remotely. It doesn't matter who the pilot is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. She gets there, she's in it, she's like, okay, I'm gonna leave, and then she's like, what the fuck? And then yeah,
she's panicking.
Yeah,
right. And then we've got to go and try and shut it down to save her.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is gonna happen.
Yeah. No, of course not.
I think she's dead as fuck, to be fair.
God damn it.
But that would certainly be interesting. Okay.
I think all 5 of those kids are dead by the end of this, one way or the other.
Yeah, I agree.
No. I don't agree.
You think Allie's going to survive?
No. If anyone survives, it's her brother.
I was going to say that. Say that. Like, there's a high chance of Allie going, but I could see a small chance of both of them surviving. But yeah.
Well, look at it this way: either they're all going to die, or Gaius is going to die to save the last one of them. Which would you prefer? Because I don't care about those kids that much.
Listen, Gaius has already had his extra life.
Oh man,
Gaius has already had his extra life. He doesn't have another green mushroom.
Community. Can we just get a meme? Can we get like a kind of Michael Jordan-ish meme with Ethys' face in monochrome saying "fuck them kids"? I would really love that. Please and thank you, someone.
But we know Gaius so we know Gaius is likely not going to... They made a comment recently that they can't promise Gaius would be a front runner in Endwalkers, but not that he wouldn't be present. That, to be fair, him dying doesn't mean he can't be present. We've learned that. We've made that abundantly clear with Gaius already, with the way his history has gone. But yeah, I don't think he dies here. I'd be very shocked for them to just throw Gaius's death into a side quest.
Yeah, I think it would be disappointing, particularly like with what we know is happening to Garlemald, for him not to have some, I don't know, something to do with that. It would be a shame.
I think Valens is going to be about to kill Gaius somehow. I don't know how the fuck he's going to end up in that position. But
yeah, good luck.
And what's his face is actually going to kill Valens. The Elizon.
Oh, what's his face? Oh, Vaudelin.
Yeah, Vaudelin. I can never remember how to pronounce his name, so I just let you do it.
Vaudelin, Vidorlin,
yeah.
I don't know.
And I think that's going to be his... I think he's going to let Gaius off the hook. He's going to be like, this is, or Gaius is going to owe him one or something like that. I think that's how he gets over not obsessing over killing Gaius, because he's already kind of on the fence of not doing it after everything that's happening. You can see him being like, no. Like, he has to reconvince himself that that's what he's there for, kind of thing. So, and I don't know what the lady, what she's gonna do. I have no idea what's in the store for her.
I like that. I like Verdon thinking like, I could kill this Gaius, which is the best version of Gaius, or I could kill Valens, which is the worst possible version of Gaius, and be satisfied with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Severa died. That wouldn't surprise me in some way.
She's had well, I wouldn't say she's had such a minor role in this. It's just I feel like, I feel like in comparison to Vaudelin, we haven't seen a lot of Severa.
Well, we get her exposition dump in 5.4. So
yeah, we did.
That's about it.
We've gotten about as much of each of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that Vaudelin's more interesting.
Yeah, Vaudelin gets a scene of Gaius escaping the Praetorium. Like, you get to actually see Gaius limping out of the Praetorium in his.
Not to say that Severa didn't have it hard. I mean, like, her story's pretty fucked up too. But in comparison, like, yeah, Vaudeline definitely takes the highlight of the two, I guess.
Definitely. Well, we'll get the finale of Warlit. Definitely pumped for that. The Dragon Maid, I hate that the War Machina fanatic is the guy who gives us. And I shouldn't be surprised in any way that he's the one who gives us our Dragon God mount.
Yeah, he probably made it.
I don't know how I didn't think about that. I don't know how that never even like crossed my mind until they said he was the quest giver. It literally makes perfect sense. He's literally obsessed with weapons, and we've got a giant mecha dragon of death here. That's a 2-seater, apparently. And I will
pretty good.
Yeah. We have, what's his face from House of Durandare? I call him Frilly Hat.
Now, this is going to be great. This is Jeannequinard and Carviane's father. And we know that all of these custom deliveries have been like an interesting little bit of kind of plot and world building delivery. I can't help but wonder if this is going to involve both of them, and if it's not going to fill in like another piece of the puzzle with Carviane and like what that relationship was like, and maybe why he was compelled to leave.
I mean, I'd have to imagine it would. I never really caught much of what happened in Elto's custom delivery. I still want to do it because I think that's one of the best dragon mounts we have in the game, the Elto mount. I never really caught much of what was happening there. So people tell me it was a little bit more kind of what you see in the level 80 Dragoon quests, where there's like this respect being paid to Nidhogg despite how his life ended, in a sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, basically.
Yeah. So the lore from these has been good. I just don't do crafting, man. I'll have a lot of time before fucking 6.0 though. So maybe it's about time I finally get around. I mean, fuck, I'm at 1.1 million with ocean fishing. I might as well.
Jeez.
And we'll get to talk about that a little later. One little tiny thing in here that I thought was interesting. So to be second best, which is the level 80 summoner quest, is having some of its dialogue adjusted. And that has to be because Fordola is back in the MSQ, I imagine, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So I saw this going around on Twitter a bit, and people are like, "Whoa, maybe Fordola dies, and they're gonna like change the level 80 summoner quest for people that."
No, but they don't care about that because there is a sequence to the way these quests happen. Yeah. Even if you do them out of order.
So what this is going to be is there's going to be some unique dialogue in the MSQ where Fordola and presumably Aaron Volt will acknowledge if you have done the level 80 summoner quest, and it's going to be interesting to see the distinction. I haven't done it. My summoner's only at like 71, 72. I don't think
you've got the whole weekend, pal. Bo's just calling you.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? I guess I have to.
Mine's 80. I just have to go talk to the NPC. That's true of all the level 80 quest lines. Like, I know what happens in all of them, so I didn't bother doing any of them. So now I just got to actually go do the quest real quick.
Yeah, I guess I got to do it.
You have the option to go to the book, and like you could, if you did it after, you could just go to the book and watch the cutscene with the toggle turned on or off. Also.
Yeah, but I'll know.
Yeah, you'll know. Yeah, you will know. That's true. But the thing is, it's specifically adjustments made to the summoner quest. So I wonder if it's the other way around. If you do the summoner quest after doing the other one.
Oh, interesting.
It's just weird because why do they make adjustments to the summoner quest itself after? Because now it makes me kind of want to. I'm curious if I should do it before or after. You know,
I wasn't sure if it meant that or if it meant just like if you're in the middle of it, you need to abandon it and restart it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you do have to do that, but I wonder. I want to know which way it is. So, I mean, whatever. The book is in the game.
Yeah.
Although some of these level, I guess you have New Game Plus for that too. Some of these you can't replay because they're not traditional cutscenes. They're like, you know, and I don't know if that would fall in line with that.
Yeah, the unending journey is still a mess.
It sure is. It ends. It's certainly not unending. That's true. New Game Plus, Eden, Sorrow, Tales from the Shadows, which I believe is the Void Quests. Which was surprised to see no follow-up to Eden or the Void Quests here mentioned at all. Maybe in part 2, but I actually did expect some sort of another send-off for each of them. I don't know why. I just did. I don't know if you guys feel the same.
Yeah, I was expecting a send-off for Eden. At some point in 5.5 or 5.5. Because we know we've got like that festival they've been planning, you know?
Yeah.
That's gonna like seed something at some point. Like we're not done with Reen and Gaia. Like we're gonna find somewhere in Endwalker that, or perhaps even later, that Eden's gonna be a prerequisite for something else that's happening in Novigrad for sure.
I kind of feel like even in 6.0, it's a little too soon to kind of forget about the first. Like, I feel like there is some reason in some shape or form why we still have ties to it and have to go do things there. I mean, we have a connection there. We have several connections there.
We brought a connection from the source to the first via the same magic we used to bring all our friends back.
Exactly. So I still think that there's a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but stuff to be done on the first.
Until they're done dealing with the void and trying to open the portal and like see if they can fix the 13th, it will be perpetually a seed that is planted, without a doubt.
Yeah, we just don't know whether it's going to be 2 patches or 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. The next stuff is all, new map items, new craftable items, submersibles, furnishing design winners, the windows, all that.
What did you say? Yeah. The bar, the shelves, the bar shelves.
Yeah, you like those too.
All about it.
The hanging glasses, I need those. I fucking need those.
Does that make up for no more floating items? The housing change?
The new
kinda.
The new housing external with like the workshop and that. I love that.
Yeah, I was confused. I didn't even realize that's only a medium house because the large house has a balcony essentially. You can walk up the stairs to the balcony finally. But the medium doesn't have that. The medium looks like you can pretty easily get on the fucking roof of the medium though. Just like throw like something else you can jump onto there and you'd probably be up because it's not very high up at all. So it's a very climbable house. It's a very vertical house. And I love it. I'm also just a fan of the smith,
of course,
the like smithing. It's very crystalline mean. That's what I like to say. It's very crystalline mean. I love it.
It definitely has that workshop aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
The new aquarium fish. It's like close your fucking mouth. I don't know what. It's just, he's literally PogChamping.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, he's literally Komodo hype / PogChamp.
Somebody's gonna make an emote of that already.
I don't like that in the triple triad section, by the way, that we have a Valen's card.
I do like that it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I do like that it's a 3-star, but then I see that he's the same rank as Lunar Bahamut, and I get a little upset again.
Yeah, well.
At least the G Warrior and the Diamond Weapon are 4s and 2B is 5
4
for whatever
stars.
reason,
Yeah.
The triple triad change, I've said enough. I'm just glad finally another fucking 4-star card can be used. They're not entirely useless now. That's all I'm glad to see. The Rainmaker hairstyle returning via MGP. It's another big thing for a lot of people. That's Minago's hairstyle, in case you were wondering. Vieira's cry. Anyway, moving on. Leviathan Unreal, man, I actually am dreading Leviathan Unreal. Like, I think it's gonna be, I think in a lot of ways it's gonna be worse than Titan. I think Yoshi P was right. Although they did say
really so bad.
So I thought back. So I went back in my brain to the way that Titan and Leviathan went when they came out. I looked back at a lot of the Rumbleborn Primals and realized how little I would trust the Party Finder with them nowadays.
I hear that.
Like Ifrit with the howls in the back on the healers. No,
there's no way.
No way I trust a Party Finder healer to do that most of the time. Titan, I realized that outside of people getting hit by weights or getting hit by a landslide, that's about it where my trust kind of falls apart for Titan. On Leviathan, I don't trust people to touch the fucking thing to put up the shield. I don't trust people to stun the fucking ad. I don't trust people to attack the fucking right part of Leviathan and not reflect
target the right head.
Yeah. I realize I trust a lot less on Leviathan, or people to be able to see where the dive bombs are coming from, or to even know they can arm's length and sure cast the dive bombs if they fuck up, or sure cast or arm's length the arena shaking when he slams down. I realize how little I trust everyone.
Leviathan, back in 2.2, Leviathan felt so much easier, and like we got it done so much faster. But I can't help but wonder if that's not just because we'd spent a whole patch in Titan Extreme cutting our teeth on that.
I also do wonder,
and if we just like hadn't gotten good.
There was also a lot less, but you got to remember what pugging was like back then too. There was no party finder. There wasn't even a single server party finder. There wasn't a cross-world party finder. Nothing. A lot of people did these with their friends or shout groups. The amount of people who access, the amount of people who access pug content now is a lot higher, and the number of people who experience. First of all, people are, for a lot of people, it's going to be brand new. A lot of people haven't done a synced Leviathan kind of deal in ever. Some people haven't done it in ages. I learned that with Shiva, and with people who I was like, oh, Shiva's the easiest one. And people are like, yeah, I did it way back when, but I don't really remember it. And that was a huge impact on how well it actually did or didn't go. I don't think Leviathan's as much a pushover as people are thinking back. However, they did say that they didn't scale it as tightly as the previous Unreals because of their playtest experiences. So that may actually, it may have been that way if it had released as we kind of are thinking it would have, and it may not be the case. But there is permadeath here again. So that is always going to be a major, major scare when it comes to doing pug content, is someone going to permanently die. Granted, I think this is easier to take a permanent death and fix it as long as it's not one of the tanks.
Yeah.
Than Titan is. If Titan, to be fair, honestly, even if you do lose a tank here, it's just a matter of the healers are going to lose all of their casting range.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking mirrors. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I'm excited for it.
I've done Unreal every week since it came out in 5.3.
Yeah.
And I'm as scared as I was back then. I'm more scared now. Because back then I was like, oh, we're going to fucking destroy Shiva. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, about that.
Maybe we won't. Maybe it's worse than I remember. I remember getting hit by that first room-wide AoE, and I'm like, no. Okay.
I actually did Unreal for the first time just today. I was tanking Titan. And we went with like 4 of us that had, all done it before. I don't know if we'd all done it like in 2.1, but we were all pretty familiar with it. And then 3 or 4 that had never seen it before. And I think we got a clear after like 4 pulls. So, and that was mostly PF. So I'm not too worried about Leviathan. I don't know. Maybe it's different on light.
I'm worried.
No.
I'm
excited.
Worried.
I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's like
good.
It's like crazy. I didn't even realize until I did it today, like how crazy the nostalgia baiting is.
It is.
Because I'm like, I feel things doing Titan that I have not felt doing like any other.
Is a heart attack one of them? Because Titan is heart attacks and lots of drugs is what I think of. I was like, please just null the pain somehow, please. Yeah.
Like you get those palpitations, like you're right back there in like mid 2014, like oh no, the Cervatic's gonna kill me on this landslide. Oh, the 400 ping's gonna kill me on this. Like there were so many times today because I keep forgetting.
That was gone in 2.1. Why does everyone treat extreme like it was like in hard mode? It was like that.
Well, it's because in Australia we had that stacked with like 400 MS. Yeah. So there were so many points today where I'm like running out of a way to the line. I'm like, well, that's it. I'm dead. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. I've got 30 MS now.
What it's like being on the East Coast of America versus what's being on the West Coast of America.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's nice kind of reliving.
Slice like I love my ping. Mr. East Coast over here. Yeah. I think all the Realm Reborn maybe warrants a little more respect than we gave them. Garuda maybe. I think I remember I rated them all. Did we rate them all last week?
Yeah, we did. We did. We kind of went over it, and I'm like, and
I surprised you with my order.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We both agreed though that
Ramu
Ramu would probably be.
Yeah.
That would destroy PF.
Ramu would have been the be all end all. Moogle would have made me just not want to do it. Period. Not even because I don't even think that fight's hard. I just don't want to do it.
I won't do Moogle. If they do it as Unreal, I'll just skip that one.
Yeah, I'll just skip 4 months of doing that.
Yeah.
So, I think Ravana's gonna be the next one. I think they're gonna start 6.0 with Ravana. I really do.
Okay.
That's gonna be my bet.
I have fond memories of Ravana.
I have fond memories of Ravana too. He's one of the only perma fall off ones that is if you fall off, you really, really deserved it and you should feel bad. It's not like landslides or Leviathan. It's like, no, you really had to have been dumb. So you deserve this. And we'll finish it without you. Don't worry.
It's also the only primal fight that I still sing along to literally every time that I do it.
Trickling down my
practice my throat singing. Yeah.
Yeah. Blood trickling down to Heidelin. There you go.
Oh my god. Hold on. Someone did it.
What do you mean someone did it?
Someone fucking did it.
What did they? What are you talking
Someone
about?
fucking did it.
What did they do? You just keep. Yeah, never mind. I see it. Yeah. We all went to Twitter at the same time, and
holy shit!
I'll see you, mate.
Thank you.
That's terrible out of context. You really need that picture alongside of the kids from the story so people don't understand. So people don't. Yeah. You really need that alongside the pictures of the Aura kids.
Again,
thank you so much.
And then you need to Photoshop. Then you need to Photoshop that face that he has right there onto somebody hugging a body pillow of Gaius.
Yes,
that's really where the maximum evolution of it goes. Is he really needs a Gaius body pillow and to be, and you can just take a blank like palette Photoshop of just somebody hugging a body pillow and put Gaius on there, and it would be fine.
Jeez,
yeah. I'm really just trying to get because now he's already gone down this rabbit hole. I really want to dive all the way in. So
outstanding.
Yeah, fuck them kids. All right.
For real though.
For real though. Fuck them kids.
Holy shit.
We go to the Blue Mage hotbar saving. Unfortunately, a little late from the most recent update, but it'll be good for the next update. The target markers, which is fantastic. I'm in love with that target marker change with the arrows on the flanks, big time. Especially when I think of deep dungeons and being able to see the front of monsters and know when you can walk behind something, so you don't aggro it by. So there's literally in Palace of the Dead. I don't know if you know this. There's sprites that aggro by sight. So good luck fucking knowing which direction they're looking. Until now. Now you'll know.
I hadn't thought of that.
You have to basically watch them move and see where they stop in order to know. Now you won't have to do that.
Yeah.
So, Paglthon, Cloud Deck Extreme. It's the same, but with it's all the same every time. Here's the minimum item level. Here's the name. Here's where it's unlocked. That's it. There's nothing fancy. The Seed of Sacrifice mount being purchasable. I forgot that there was a high possibility of them doing this. So Emerald Weapon had its drop rate increased for the mount. This is a half increase, most likely, where it's not the same as a full increase. They did this in the last expansion, where in 4.5 they increased the drop rate of the 4.4 trial a little bit, and then increased it more to the normal amount, about in 0.55. So it's very likely something similar to that. This is a little bit better, but it'll get another buff probably at the end of May. Tempting for me to try to get both my diamond and my emerald weapon mounts before I have to buy them with totems. Very, very tempting. Since I have 99 Emerald Totems, but I could also just try to win them out. But I don't want to do that, so maybe I won't. Eden normal, all the usual stuff, weekly stuff going from 7 to 4 on the Blades of Lost Antiquity, the new Alliance raid. I want to say, by the way, one thing we kind of skipped over is the sliding image where they have 2 images and they slide in the patch notes so you can see 2 at once. I like it.
That's pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
This patch note technology that we've got here.
Patch note UI.
Yeah, patch note UI. Patch note quality of life. There you go.
Quality of life, right.
There you go.
Right.
Honestly, the only big thing with the raids, other than obviously the new one, which we're reserving judgment on, is the increase of the drop rates on pretty much everything across the board. Every party now gets, now these items all now appear in every single party's treasure chest. All the minions, the cards, the 2B outfit. So the availability of all these basically through the roof. The Orchestration rolls, everything. So if you wanted any of the things from Puppet's Bunker or Copied Factory, now will be the time to do it. Then the duel buff. We finally got a little bit of insight into how they're going to be handling duel queues now for Bozja. You get a buff called Notoriety. Yeah, every time you finish a critical engagement, it says participation in the prerequisite. I wonder if that means you just have to do it even if you get killed, like you don't qualify for the duel. I think it should really be you have to qualify for the duel to get notoriety. Like, that's how I think it should be. Because if everyone gets it, then,
That's what I assumed, but you're right, that's not how it's worded.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see, because...
It says, in the event a player is not chosen to duel, participate in the prerequisite critical engagement will earn them notoriety. Yeah,
just as participation.
Yeah, it just says participation.
But it does say in the event they're chosen not to duel, which implies that it goes to the 30-second queue. And then they get the notoriety after they failed to be picked, which would make sense. See that part, it would make sense. Because that's what it really should be. So, but then one could also argue, well, if you don't qualify, you're not chosen.
Yeah, exactly. If you mess it up, you don't get chosen.
That's fucked up. So. It's like I don't know who you are, but here's 10 notoriety, which is the opposite of notoriety. All right, that's it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right though. I think the lack of clarity there is probably just a localization thing.
I don't even think that. I think it's just it should have just said if you're not chosen for a duel, your notoriety. Like I think they should have just left a part out. I think it's just extra text. But I thank God they're finally like someone who's done all. I've got the title on 2 characters, but I'm obviously about to have to get the title again in the next zone in Zadnor. I like this.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah. So this is huge. I love that they did something, and I'm glad they didn't wait till Zadnor came out, because people are going to be looking for obviously odd numbered patches unless you're farming extreme mounts, or really just they're big hype machines that then kind of die down until more expansion stuff comes out, and then one last hype machine with the last hurrah of the second part of the MSQ. But that's also going to be true of Zadnor. I mean, Zadnor is the last major content update, so really getting these systems out of the way and making sure they work now before then is very important. Not to mention, they're finally getting rid of the whole double fates at the same time thing. The double CEs. It's like, it was, you know how much of a fucking pain it was to do a CE guide for Trample Under Hoof?
Yeah, because no one's ever done it.
No one's going to fucking do it. It was terrible. I was like, and now I'm like, yes. Now people must know. Yeah. So thank God they're splitting them finally. They'll keep them. I will say that that's a bit of a nerf to duels, because it means that there's more CEs that can block a duel from spawning if they appear. So
that's
yeah. But that's about it, because apparently they're making it so that when you finish CEs, it speeds up the rate at which Castrum, or in this case Dalrida, occurs. So it'll be you'll get a lot more Castrums, a lot more of the sieges now, which is a pretty.
I think that's great. That encourages people not just to like sit around AFK waiting for it to pop.
Yeah,
actually have to actively participate.
It does.
Between.
It will still mean that when there's the 6-minute timer hits, they probably just stop doing everything. That's always going to happen.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But until that point. Yeah, until that point. Well, we get to see also. I wonder how much it reduces by a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Probably not 5. That would be insane. It was 5 minutes per CE. CE does take about 5 minutes to do, though, most of the time. A little bit less. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, so apparently the German translations actually specifically states you need to qualify for the duel.
Okay, so it is a localization thing. Cool.
Okay.
Cool,
Like I said, it does say not chosen to duel, but it's still just the extra wording. Just
a little vague, yeah.
Another thing that's kind of weird, if a number of players who participate in a skirmish is lower than the number of players present when it first began, enemies will be affected by the hubris status. So that says skirmishes. How many people are in range of a skirmish when it occurs? Because that's what it's implying, that like, if you're there when the skirmish appears, when it first begins, is what it says. How many people are generally sitting at a skirmish and then leave?
I just assumed that the mobs would be gaining or losing stacks as people sort of entered and left the skirmish.
Yeah, but then I could just, if you did that, I could just run through every skirmish on the zone and give everyone hubris by not do a goddamn thing. It very specifically says when it first begins.
Yeah, but if you leave it, then maybe they will lose hubris. Sorry, they'll gain hubris stacks again.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What if I just did a drive-by?
It's not persistent.
Well, no, it says if the number of players is lower, which implies, let's say you start a skirmish with 8 people and 2 people leave, they gain hubris and they get weaker. It does say
when it first begins, yeah.
Yeah. The only skirmishes this makes sense for is like the back-to-backs that are both in the same location. And even then, most of the time people get away from those before they actually start. Like they get out of range.
Like the Sardavar one.
Yeah, like the Sardavar one. So... And it's not CEs. This says skirmishes, not CEs. So it's not like people leaving critical engagements or anything like that. So
it would make more sense for CEs. At least the way that it's worded.
Yeah, it has to be... the only thing I really imagine is you're doing a skirmish and you're queued for a CE. You can't finish the skirmish in time, so you go to do the CE and you teleport to the CE. That's it. And Castrum.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only situation. Great, but it's such a specific case. I mean, it is definite. It's something that needs to be, that kind of is nice to have, but I wonder how much exactly, maybe now more with CLLs appearing more frequently. It's something they anticipate needs to be done to keep people doing skirmishes for people who need to level up. So this is something I think we kind of have to see it in action, because
I think it's one of those things that they're obviously trying to sort of future-proof this.
Yeah.
In the way that they kind of didn't do so well with Eureka, that like when it gets to a point where they still want people to be doing this content, but it's not going to be so massively populated, people still be able to get through it and it'll adjust to, you know, how many people are there.
Yeah, there's another change here. The only thing that I'm concerned about is when it first begins, because I want to know where that qualification window is. Because if I show up to a skirmish 30, 45 seconds in, someone's already been working on it, but I've now joined it and I'm participating, and then I leave because I'm going to do a CE or something. That's the only thing I need to, when it first begins. Because if it really is just when the skirmish starts or when somebody starts fighting, people just insta-pull skirmishes as like a one person all the time and people trickle in after. That means there's no way hubris ever kicks in. That's my concern. The better thing is people get echo in small number critical engagements. If they're in like a dead instance, you get the echo.
Well, I think it's more implying that, like, yeah, you're right, that normally when a skirmish starts, there'll only be one person there, just go in and start it. Wouldn't everything there get like max hubris at that point?
Well, no, because nobody's left.
And just melt.
It implies that somebody has to be there, like 8 people have to be there, and then people have to leave in order to trigger it. Not one person.
Right, in order for them to gain skirmish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's my concern, is the when it first begins. Because so rarely are a bunch of people at a skirmish right when it begins. People just start attacking shit as soon as they get there.
I think this is another case of just the patch notes not being half as descriptive as we'd perhaps like them to be.
I think, I think the point makes sense if you know, if you understand it. Like, if you already understood it and you read this, you'd be like, yeah, I get it. But it doesn't make sense just reading it just as a blanket statement.
Hopefully they'll elucidate on it for us on Monday.
Yeah, because skirmishes don't dynamically scale, and this seems like a way of dynamically scaling them, but only scaling them down. Which is fine, because I don't think they need to be scaled up, but the way that the skirmish scaling is already done is so wonky. So, that definitely needs to get tested pretty quick. High morale's getting buffed. I mean, I didn't care. I'm at max. not very many people stick around and watch the 1v1s, and the few that do are often not really in need of morale, because the ones who need morale are going and doing the next skirmish or whatever's on the map. But still, yeah, I mean, there was a pretty pathetic buff, a 50% metal buff for 30 minutes. It's going to be more important now that they're adding a post-rank 25 progression in Zadnor. I'd assume people actually they want people to want to stick around for the 1v1 now, which is going to make it all that much better when Gabriel kills the person in the first 8 seconds like he always does. Yeah. So, you still won't get to enjoy the buff.
Riding map as well. It's pretty high.
Yeah, riding map's a big one. It doesn't say what you need to purchase it with, but I'd assume coins, just the generic bronze coins. Clusters too. You're right. Yeah, actually, clusters is probably the answer.
Clusters.
Yeah, I think you're right. Then category for the Resistance Secretariat. That's just tutorials and shit, like explaining how they work, because they're now different. So they need to make sure that anyone who comes in later can check it. Delibram Savage can be done with 24 now. They said it would be harder to do with 24, which means I doubt there's much downscaling happening here. It seems really like a future proof for the rank 25.
I was going to ask about that.
I think it's really they're anticipating that people who are doing Delibram later will probably post-progress rank 25 and get stronger. And then they can do it with less, as opposed to it being right now, you're like right away you're going to want to do it 24. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there will be people who do it. They want to see what it's like with 24 people. But I don't think it's intended for that.
That's it's an interesting implication, though, that the actions you're getting at rank 25 are going to be enough to, you know.
Well, it's not that. They said after you hit rank 25, you can keep progressing and just get stronger. It's like a post-progression system that they're going to have. So I said I compared it to Paragon levels in Diablos, since it's kind of fresh on my mind. Or merits in Final Fantasy 11. Like something you'll be doing, you'll be gaining EXP and still getting stronger after rank 25.
So when's the world first solo Delibram Savage?
Well, you can't queue in solo. You'd have to queue in with 23 other people, and then you want to explain to me how you're getting through golems and slimes alone? You want to work that out for me real quick?
So not only would they have to do that, they would have to actually do the 1v1 as well.
To be fair, if you were soloing, you're doing the 1v1 regardless, because there's no way you're passing up that buff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what the post progression actually ends up being like. Because he said that if you do the post progression, he said you're gonna get real strong. He's like that's when you'll see the big numbers. As if I don't already fucking see big numbers when I'm juicing in there. I fucking squeeze oranges all day when I go in the Armok. Absolute maximum juice. I'm pulpy as fuck.
You just go back and one shot all the jewels.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So the next thing is a really simple thing. They add in cryptwines and dustings for hunt currency and the coins with the 24 mans. I think the biggest surprise is that people are going to be remembered that there is a hunt NPC in Yulmore. I use him, but everyone's always like, wait, there's one in Yulmore? Yeah. Everyone forgets at the mainstay. Just go to the mainstay and he's right there. You don't need to go to the Crystarium. I know so many people who do that.
Who goes to the mainstay though? Like
I do. It's so easy.
Yulmore.
I don't have
There's
to go
more
to
to
Yulmore
than the top floor.
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. There's a few people. There are still a few people living in the slums that we apparently just don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, we have no reason to go to the slums anymore.
Yeah, we were like, we're gonna fix this place. By the way, fuck them. All right.
Yeah, fuck them.
There's nothing but the top floor.
The Chais don't even know they exist, honestly. What slums?
All these people they tossed off.
The only time
they tossed off.
The only time I ever went.
They're still alive? Did we eat them? I swear we ate them.
God damn it. The only time I went down there was to unlock Stone Sky Sea. I went down to the bottom and walked out the fucking gate, and I was like, all right, Stone Sky Sea, here it is. Then they have all the usual, like, adding the new trials to, like, the Raid Finder, pushing the old one out, Echo for the old Extreme Trial. Roulettes have everything moved around. Item levels are all changed around for all the roulettes, Mentor, leveling. There is a change of leveling roulette we'll get to in a little bit. The feast season ended. Congratulations. We barely even know that it exists anymore. Moving on. Apparently, the feast is a massive cheating problem right now. Like, Yoshida mentioned the cheating problem not too long ago. But it's apparently even worse than that now because of the armor. I've seen Frosty talking about it a lot. There's like people who are teleporting out of the starting gate and killing people before the match starts.
Yeah, they need to do something about that before the expansion and the new mode.
Yeah, and
otherwise it's just going to be dead on arrival.
Yeah. Those people either need to be banned very swiftly, or they need some sort of coding change to get around.
I don't think banning's going to be sufficient. They need to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, they should need to do both, is what they need to do.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
So, yeah, best of luck, PvP. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
New gear, new recipes, our luxury traders offering rare and extravagant items. Is this just the mounts for now, you think? I mean, I think it's just for now. I don't think that's always going to be the case. But I think these are Gilsync NPCs, Edelina and Tabith.
About time.
Yeah, it is about time. I've been asking for that for a long time. My 230 million is probably going to go down a decent amount. And now I might be incentivized to play and make Gil again. That's just me playing. I'm not even trying to make that. I got a hairstyle from Delibram. I got a mount from Delibram. I'm good. That's like 10 mil right there. I don't even fucking care. Listen, if you do Delibram as much as I do, you might get a hairstyle or a mount. I've gotten 3.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I do a lot of juicing.
First world problems.
I have too much money. I want to give them my money. That's why I paid Tequila to craft for me at the beginning of this expansion. I need something to do with my goddamn money. I don't want to level crafting.
First world problems.
I don't want to level crafting. I'll pay somebody else to make the items. And then I'll turn this in. They'll be like, hey, can you make me this? I'll be like, I made this. Look what I did. Give me the levels.
That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. But it doesn't have your name on it.
It doesn't have his name on it either. I deleted it.
It doesn't have anybody's name on it after you have it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have anyone's name on it. That's it. Upgraded crafted gear, changing around a few items in the crafting menus. You know what I thought was funny? The Phoenix Triple Triad card can no longer be discarded. Of all the cards to be discardable, I imagine this one just resurrecting if you discarded it. I was just like, it
just keeps showing up in your deck.
Yeah, it just keeps showing. It's like
you delete it and like, wait, the fuck?
I don't understand this. Like, why the Phoenix card? What's special about it?
Why could it be discarded, and why is it now that it's being fixed? Like, after all this time.
But okay, sure.
New Luminary tool equivalents, it seems. Players must complete the quest The Boutique Always Wins, and then you can craft some crazy, difficult expert recipes and get another shiny tool. Have fun.
Great.
I mean, to be fair, what else do you do crafting for? Money? Pff, markets are dead. Move on. Anyway. Get a shiny tool, make new stuff, make money for a week, and then move on. That's what you're here for. I thought this was funny. The order for special recipe categories has been adjusted. I looked at the one as before, and I was like, wait, why is others third? Sure enough to find that they just changed, they put others last. I was like, yeah, why the fuck would you put... Here's item number 1, item number 2, others. And then that's it. So, yeah, that's fun as it is. Players can now speak with Count Charlemagne de Durandare for the custom deliveries. That's Frilly Hat Man, in case you missed that part earlier. New gathering points, new items. The map now showing you the area that gathering points appear, which is a long time overdue fucking change. That's one of those things that you really just think the game has, and then you remember it doesn't, and you cry. Because it's kind of sad that it took this long to get that. But you know what? At the 80 Sins of Sasimo, I now know where all the gathering points are. Hooray. The Fisher Action release list has been added. That would matter for me if I did any fishing outside of ocean fishing. But it's nice for the people who do collect fish outside of ocean fishing. You can just choose to release fish that you've already obtained automatically if you're just looking for completion.
Yeah.
It's nice. New fish have been added, but the real hype, these goddamn dolphins and seagulls that we got going on here in ocean fishing. Right when I'm doing it, they throw me a fucking bone here with getting me to my 3 million points. I love it. What are you shaking your head no for? Like, you don't think this is cool?
It's fine. Just the seagull thing, it doesn't make sense. How does having a bunch of seagulls around... So, when you... As someone who goes fishing surrounded by seagulls on occasion, I guarantee you that you are not more likely to reel something in. You are far more likely that those gulls are going to swarm whenever it is you're trying to reel and steal it.
Even if it's an ice cream sandwich.
No sense, especially if it's an ice cream sandwich.
I mean, yeah, I've had an ice cream. I had an ice cream sandwich stolen from me by a seagull when I was a kid.
Yeah. This makes no sense. I think the chance of landing any fish of any kind should be reduced.
Well, no, you'll catch the fish. You just won't get... I mean, why fucking toss it to the NPC anyway? Who gives a shit? All they care about is if I catch it.
I just think, like, seeing the dolphins should be... Once again, if there are a bunch of dolphins in the water, they're there to steal your fish. Okay? Like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way.
You know what I think it is? Actually, I've got it.
An adverse effect.
No, I've got it. I've got it. Here's the thing. Them showing up is giving you this effect, but in reality, they're showing up because that effect is present.
Oh,
so like they're there because
we're
of all the
confusing correlation and causation.
Yeah,
right.
There you go. So it's
I see. Well, that makes sense.
It's a sign that like, oh, there's a bunch of seagulls around here, so there must be a ton of like really good fish to catch. You know, oh, there's dolphins here. You know, that means that a rainbow is going to pop out of the ocean. You know, the most common sense thing I could think of. Yeah. So, I'm a huge fan of this. I've been having a really good go on ocean fishing. I put like 200,000 points in like 3 days out of the 3 million that I need. I've had.
How do you not get bored with it?
Because it's so fucking random. I just yell at it the whole time. You know how many times I
did a lot. I did a lot of ocean fishing when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. But I do not see the impetus to keep going.
Going for that 20,000 point a run. Like going for 20,000. Like I've gotten the 20,000 point achievement, so I have all the
I've got that
one. And
so really, the only thing that's left for Haps is the Troller achievement.
Well, no, I have all of the other titles, the octopus, the manta rays, like all of those I still technically need, but I don't give a fuck because they're not how I get my points. So
right.
Yeah, I still try to catch the bluefish too, unsuccessfully, mind you, but I do try to catch them. They suck aim. Very, very badly. And this is going to help transit. So spectral current right now is 1 divided by the number of people on the boat is your odds of pulling up a current. So the worst, your odds are about 1 in 5, a little bit better because of 1 in 25. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 in 4. This should improve that. It's a common strategy for people to wait until the boat's about to go completely and you can't queue. Set their language to like Japanese on the North American servers and just fish alone because it's a 1 in 1 chance of getting a spectral. If you catch one, you're guaranteed a current. You're also guaranteed to not get one if you don't catch it. So, and we had that. We had a 3-person boat. We got 3. It was fucking easy as shit to get 3 spectrals on a 3-person boat. But on a 24-person boat, which is what I want right here, this is going to be very useful, especially with the GP regeneration. Yeah, when I pull up a spectral, if you watch me fish for a day, you'll get it. You'll understand very quickly where the appeal is. It's in yelling at inanimate objects and pixels on screens that have no care in the world for what I think. Which, to be fair, is kind of how real fishing is too. You just yell at the ocean and you ask for it to do the right thing.
Is that how you fish?
Well, yeah, you put the fishing rod in the water, you sit there, you're waiting for the fish, and when you don't get anything for 2 fucking hours, you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck, ocean?
No.
Yeah.
No. You just don't give a shit.
You sit there for 2 hours until your case of beer is empty, and then you go home.
See, somebody gets it. Somebody fucking
I'm trying to fucking eat right now, all right?
My God.
I'm catching
and either you have a fish at the end or you don't.
Yeah, you either have fish when you leave or you don't. And either way, you just don't give a fuck because you're you don't give a fuck because you're probably gone through a 6-pack before you left anyway. So yeah.
And if you don't, then you just go to the fish and chip shop and get a fish anyway.
Right.
No, I want to catch the fish. It's got to be me.
Yeah.
You yell at the ocean like, "What the fuck, ocean?" That's it.
I'm trying to think of Old Man in the Sea when he was actually yelling at the ocean.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who's yelled at the ocean.
Did that happen? No. I don't think that was in there. Yeah.
Yelling at the ocean the whole time.
Yeah, you don't have to yell.
If you have to, if you feel like you have to yell at the ocean, then
you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're doing something really wrong.
It's like that meme of that woman doing the pointing thing, but it's the ocean, and not the cat on the other side of it. It's Mother Nature, really. I guess.
If you like yelling at the ocean, you should pick up surfing. That's very.
But when you're surfing, the ocean is yelling back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fight you don't win at any point. So that's
you get some vindication occasionally.
Yeah, but you never win. That's it. You might win the battle, but you're never going to win the war. Moving on from ocean fishing, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to keep talking about, is feet, as I like to call it, feats. Now, I'm sure it's just the French word for fate, which probably sounds very similar. But it's feet. All right. So feats are held 12 times over the course of a 24-hour period, with one every 2 hours. Celebrations include there'll be a rest period of one to two. Apparently, it's a random rest period between 24 and 48 hours. So you don't know, you don't know immediately. I mean, it's easy enough to find out, but still.
Yeah.
Why do you look so confused, Ethys?
So, do they occur once every 2 hours or once every 1 or 2 days?
There's a day where the celebration is taking place, and then there's a cooldown on the celebration.
So each, like, they're progressive. Every second hour, it'll be like the next in the series of fates.
Feats, yeah.
Feats.
He just wants to say fucking feet.
I really do. I really do. God. Yeah. Because it's not hard to pronounce it accurately, but I could also just say feet, and it's a low-hanging fruit joke. People go, haha, feet, and that's it, and I win. It's just a winning situation. You will get feet. Great. You will get feet presents when you get a sufficient ranking, and it's not funny unless you make it funny. You're making it funnier by reacting. It doesn't have to be funny. You just move on with life. I'm just reading the patch notes.
Okay.
Move on from feet.
Right. What do you mean I'm reading it? I gotta finish it. So you get feet tokens, which can be exchanged for rewards by speaking with any in the firmament. I'm just reading the patch notes, Sly. Stop reacting. You get these things from participating. And one of them, you get the antelope, and I guess the other one is with Skybuilder scripts, the other antelope. But it's just, yeah, it's just a celebration. You just do these events at the celebration on a crafter or gatherer, and you earn the presents. That's it. And they can only be opened in towns. What happened? Yeah, a male and a female.
I guess. I mean, I don't think they're the same species, actually.
Shut up. I know one has horn. I know one has horn.
All right,
that's fine. I bet you they are. Bet you they are. The same.
Okay.
New mounts been added. That man should not have the resources to make this.
That thing is so stupid.
He really shouldn't have the resource. The fact that he made this
it looks so dumb.
I know. I love the way that it looks. I don't think it looks dumb at all. I think it looks dope as fuck. But that man should not be able to make this thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, he shouldn't be allowed.
Not to mention, dude, the Diamond Gwibber and the Diamond Barding are both great.
Yeah, the barding's really nice.
I love both of them. The Gwibbers have, there's nice varying details on each of the Gwibbers if you actually line them all up. And I think it's fantastic. A seagull and a dolphin minion. Gee, I wonder where those are from. Yeah. Probably should replace my much coveted Mora, which I earned at 1 million ocean fishing points, and I fucking hate the stupid thing. Did you? So we had a discussion. So you know that Mora is a sunfish. That's what it's called. That they are actually the most worthless animal on the planet.
Oh.
They have no natural predators because they're inedible and non-nutritious.
Are they really?
Yeah, they do nothing. They don't like help the ecosystem by like cleaning it in any sort of way. They can't even fucking swim. They just let the currents carry them. Literally, if we wiped out every sunfish on the planet, we would just lower the water level. That's it. That's what we would accomplish.
Nothing eats them? Really?
Nothing eats them. There's no natural predator.
Turtles don't eat them?
Turtles? They're big. How would a turtle eat them?
Very slowly. I don't know. Turtles eat everything. Turtles are like the goats of the ocean. Sea goats.
They eat plants. What are you talking?
No, turtles eat blue bottles. What do you call them over there? Man-o-wars. The spicy. Yeah.
Slowly. That's not the answer I was expecting at this. How would they eat them?
Well, I mean, how else? How else?
I'm glad they eat man-o-wars. Those things are fucking nasty.
Yeah, particularly the ones at home.
They're literally just masses of poison. That's it. They're just...
Oh, here we go. Sea lions, killer whales, and sharks will consume them.
Yeah, they really...
Probably accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
They're not like, oh, dinner. They're like...
Because they're mostly bone, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like going to... It's like, have you ever seen people fight over like favorite fast foods? It's like somebody having their favorite fast food and then having the, I guess that's fine option.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Mora's is. At best, that's acceptable. Like, I'm not happy about it, but I've eaten.
So they are a delicacy in Japan, but I think that's probably just for, like flexing.
Yeah, it's like shark fin soup. It's not like an actual delicacy so much as it's just,
it doesn't actually taste good. It's just like, look at this exotic thing that I killed. We can eat
this thing. Yeah, we can eat this.
Yeah, it's like eating blowfish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Apparently, fugu apparently doesn't taste like good or great or anything. No. It's just like
people just do it just to say they fucking did it. And like, I'm living on the edge. I fucking survived.
Yeah, it's like, we can find a way to eat this. Stupid. We're going to eat this.
Yeah, look at this wicked flex of me like creating an edible meal out of this monstrosity.
I mean, that's how pineapple on pizza happens. So it's not too unbelievable.
That's it. People like pineapple on pizza.
Puffer fish, pineapple on pizza. About the same. Roughly. So.
I can swallow this thing without vomiting. Look at me.
Well, that's tough because I might vomit with pineapple pizza. Yeah, the fugu I could probably get through unless it kills me. The pineapple pizza, I don't think so. All the tank achievements
on that.
Yeah,
con saving throw.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Did you make a D&D reference right there?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I heard that. Listen, after the last is the fourth part out on YouTube yet?
No, the fourth part will be out tonight. Okay. That's right.
Yeah. Go watch the finale to our D&D session, by the way. I was gonna make a joke about it earlier when you said we don't know Fan Daniel. I was like, what do you mean? We fought him, Smile.
That was a Fan Daniel.
Yeah, but that's the fan theory. The Fan Daniel theory.
It's been confirmed that Trouble Show
that doesn't stop people from saying. What did you tell us at the start of the show in the pre-show with the fact with the eye patches?
Yeah, people are never held back by paltry facts and evidence. Yeah, of course.
Exactly. The achievement change where you can accept the rewards, Jonathan only having one of his jobs remaining, which, quite frankly, I don't think he gets to keep past the next expansion. The veteran rewards. I really think they need to redo veteran rewards. This achievement certificate thing did not work.
Mm-hmm.
I really think they need to just keep doing veteran rewards the same as they did, not like with the time limit, but you know, like every
just mail it to you.
Well, not even the mail. No. More specifically, I think that they just need to make it every month you get a certain number of login tickets, and when they add veteran rewards, you just choose which ones you want to buy with the login tickets, and then just keep adding veteran rewards as you have been, just without the time limit associated with them. I just don't think this achievement certificate thing has worked. It's basically been left to die. And now so has he. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
What was the last reward we got? The fucking claw? What, did we get anything since the fucking claw ages ago?
And that was like Heaven's Award, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Heaven's Award. No,
it was Stormblood.
It was Stormblood. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was the.
Yeah.
Might have been end of Heaven's. Or might have been like 0.55 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Koimanu. That was the last thing we got. They've done essentially nothing with it. Is what I'm saying. And they should really just...
Yeah.
It should go back to being all the same old rewards that were in the old veteran, and then add new ones and just give you login tickets. Quite frankly, it's just... It hasn't worked, in my opinion. It's just lame. And it doesn't... The whole point of veteran rewards is supposed to encourage people to be subscribed every month. Wasn't that the whole point of it in the first place?
Yeah.
To encourage it to some degree?
Like, having the Behemoth was such a huge flex, like when that first dropped.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that, when it was like sequential. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was just an incentive to like remain subscribed in downtime.
Yeah, it seems like they just exchanged it for a different, just to have items in the game that are exchangeable. And I'd like them to go back to it being login based, like subscription based, but just you could choose which. Like if you want the newest item and you've been subscribed for 4 months, you can get the newest item. Fine.
Yeah.
You're just using your tokens on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I hope they redo that at some point. But we have the achievement change, so Jonathan is, maybe if they do redo the system, he can still be the vendor for it, because otherwise he is out of a job. He needs to go back to college, get into coding, get into IT, get a new degree. The industry is always doing well. He won't have to worry about being phased out. He'll be fine. Explorer mode dungeons. I wish we had this a patch ago. I did the melee verses and I wanted to use Temple of the Fist for Monk, and we don't have it for Explorer, and now we do. This is great. Explorer mode is one of those things.
Eventually, we'll have it for everything.
I so seldom use it, but the times when I want to use it, it's perfect. I love it. I love that it's in the game.
I just want it for the Alliance raids, honestly.
Yeah. And I think we'll get there eventually. I think that's unavoidable that we'll get there. New retainer stuff, new G-pose stuff, new frames. The object option has been added to the character display settings. New stickers. We know there's also going to be stickers during FanFest exclusively for those 2 days. That will go away after those 2 days have come and gone. New text coloring, new things you can put on, flipping things horizontally or vertically. Now, talking about loving Explorer mode, we then come down to the duties that can be recorded have changed, and I cry again because I still don't know why they even bother updating it. I have to imagine that's like one of the only features used less than like Blue Mage, right?
We need to include this in the Q&A. We really need to include this in the Q&A, and like if we really want like change about this, and we're wondering why the fuck aren't we doing current
I just want them to drop it. I just want them to drop it. Just like at this point, don't even bother trying to fix it.
It's a useful tool. It can be a useful tool. The problem is it could be. The problem is it's just the way they utilize it and the way they want us to utilize it is so backwards.
It is.
Like, it doesn't deal with any. It doesn't deal with any.
Here's the thing. I have a duty recorder. It's called Twitch and OBS.
Yeah.
I love the angles you can get with it, but that's the thing. It's like you can get all the different angles, cinematic. Like it's group pose in video format is how I like to describe it. It's group pose for a fight.
Yeah,
right.
And it just doesn't function well enough.
And from a different. Go ahead.
Oh, I just don't understand why it's not like exploration mode, where it's not them just adding more and more and more and more to it over time. And
they've
I get the limitations. Yeah. They've explained the limitations, but the fact they can't do that just means like, well, don't have that system at all. If you can't actually deliver it, don't bother.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. I'd rather just not see it in the patch.
From a different standpoint, I guess it's good for content creation.
It would be, but it's not.
It could be, yeah. It could be fantastic for content creation. Like when we first saw it being announced, I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome for lore tours. I'm going to get all of these cool angles and stuff that are a real pain in the ass to get otherwise. Like this is going to be fantastic. But at this point, it's like, find another way to do it. Just give us like a mode where we could just like no clip around or something, or just scrap it. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I said that you know, the Q&A, the live, the FanFest Q&A would be the perfect time to address shit like this or anything. So again, anybody, if you have anything,
just don't ask Ishikawa about this.
That please don't. Please leave our three lady Ishikawa alone. She's fine. Don't make her more nervous than she already been.
I forgot. Yeah, last week I said that for the Q&A I was going to buy like a peaches and just take a bite every time somebody asks a shitty question.
But they're out of season.
I can buy canned peaches like we said last week though.
Yeah.
Or peach soda or something like that. Yeah. All right. The gold saucer names have been truncated in the Duty Finder. Okay.
Great.
That implies like okay, so one of my favorite changes. Parties that meet the minimum size requirements for duty roulette leveling can now be matched to duties based on the level of the party members. So you make a 4-man pre-made, and the lowest the dungeon can go is 8 levels below you. 8 levels below the lowest person.
Why don't they extend this beyond pre-made parties?
Yeah, why not?
Why don't they extend this to all of Duty? Because the number of times like you get into Sestasha and everyone's leveled sync, and then you have a look at the players and like the lowest person's at like 75, and we're like, why are we in here? Either that, or again, like just release all of the level locking on actions and just scale everything down.
That I think is always going to be something they never do.
But there's no reason not to. Like they talk about balancing, right? But like you go into Sestasha as a dancer and you just one-shot everything with standard step. It's a joke.
The big thing is here.
It's been a buzzword. What are you talking about?
It's a buzzword. This is only with pre-mades.
Yeah.
Again, so I see chat being like it'll kill new player queues. It's already only with pre-mades.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with new player queues.
Yeah. It's already like that. I will say that might mean the party finder does make like, please save me from Sestasha. Just want to do my roulette and not get Sestasha.
I don't think that.
I don't think they will. I don't think enough people care to like try to go out of their way. They just want to avoid people altogether anyway.
Yeah.
For non-premades though, yeah, they couldn't do that for non-premades. For your first suggestion, they could never do for non-premades. Second suggestion, I just don't think they'll ever do it. I think the amount of I think that as much as we already destroy things, it's not an excuse for them at least well enough to be like, well, destroy it more. It does also run the risk that players who are like, let's say you were level 80 and you got into Sestasha, you just queued in alone, and all of your other party mates are new players, and they'll just leave. They'll leave. They'll be like, fuck that. I want to. Yes. Bro, people still leave Steps of Faith because it's Vishap. Even though you murder that fucking thing now. Of course they're going to leave for that.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. But, like, the way I see it is you get in with a Dragoon who only, like, can only use one attack. And it has no AoE and it's going to take forever. You don't leave then, right? You don't leave if you don't get a dancer, if you don't get people that can do AoE. It's not really any different.
I don't think people, I think you trust them too much.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen so many shitty attitudes in the Duty Finder when it comes to anything that implies that a player who thinks they're hot shit is playing with somebody who's either new or lesser skilled than themselves.
Yeah. I don't think it's so much trust as I'm just completely oblivious to that.
So mentors, yeah. Mentors I'm talking about. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mentors should just have their crown removed if they leave instances. instantly. Fuck them. You don't understand how much I have a vendetta against that shitty system. Please. That's it. But yeah, I like this because I do mostly pre-mades now because I don't feel like dealing with shitty people. And so often it is. Even with a leveling roulette, we're all usually kind of close to each other in level. And it's just, it's nice. Especially if you're doing it with all 80 just for like tomes. The lowest you'll get is, you know, especially leveling roulette. Lowest you'll get is a expansion relevant dungeon. So that's, well, you know what's funny? When I read this, I was like, wait, why level 63? That's not 8 levels less than 70. Because there's no fucking level 62 dungeon. I don't know why I didn't think about it like that. You do have to actually turn this on, too. Limited leveling roulette. The word limited is a very brave choice in the English language. That is a very, very, very poor choice.
Baggage.
The word limited has a little bit of baggage in the English language for us Western players. It's an interesting choice of words. Geez. Oh man, all the emote changes, they went over this in a dev blog as well. Just a giant quality of life, like the searching, showing which ones are new, displaying the text commands, up to 4 of the text commands that you can use to like macro it or something along those lines. It's simple but efficient for anyone who's looking to optimize that, especially new players. The stuff that if you already know it, cool. But there's a lot of people who get the game and they don't know about text commands or how to use all that shit or what to type and all that. So always good. Always good to have things like that. PS5 beta. This is a big one. It's
limitations.
Limitations? No. The only limitation. There's funny. There is a limitation listed in the patch notes here, and it's DirectX 9. That's it. That's our next limitation. It's not console limitations unless it's the Switch. It's DirectX 9 limitations. That's the next one. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, DirectX 9 is pretty fucking old at this point.
Quick question. Seeing that you have a PS5, will you kind of do a comparison?
No. Because I don't own the game on PlayStation. And I'm not buying it for that. Especially because the changes they made for the collision thing, which I don't think are actually even listed anywhere here, will actually improve load times for PC users as well.
Yeah, if you're using SSD.
Even if you're not, apparently SSD will see the best performance, but all load times should even if it's by like a quarter of a second, should improve for everyone across the board. Just an SSD can make better use of it with the higher read speeds. Can't wait for my new computer too. It's gonna be fast. All right. New trophies. If I cared, I like trophies. I don't like them enough to do this. I don't. I don't. Doesn't matter. New gamepad type has been added under gamepad settings. What is it just like a Switch controller game? I guess for the PS5 controller because you can use the settings like you can choose to maybe disable certain things like haptic feedback and whatnot. I guess that's all I can really think of.
Yeah, maybe
it does it does say haptic feedback isn't available.
Well, it says it's not available in
PC,
the beta.
Yeah.
In the beta, okay.
That's true.
But it will be.
Yeah. Adaptive
it will be applied to character and mount movement, unsheathing weapons, etc., gathering and crafting actions, and gold saucer and toy chest mini games.
Well, specifically, remember that it says that it's not available on Windows.
Right.
Can now be used on Windows. What we're all referring to is that you can't use it when you're using it on Windows. So, but on the other stuff, it'll still be okay. PlayStation 4 users who have disabled vibration will not be able to immediately use haptic feedback, which kind of makes sense considering that it's kind of pretty important for that. The font resolution for nameplates, flying text, pop-up text has been increased. I still want some way to adjust I want to be able to adjust the flying text, man. Especially, I'm a big advocate for custom flying text.
Do you mean like size or font or
generally anything? Because as somebody, I mean, I'm sight challenged in some ways, as we know, and so being able to modify it is always a huge thing for me. Change it to Eorzean? No.
I think I think the numbers adjustment for Endwalker will help a lot.
Yeah.
Because a huge problem with me for the fly text is just like you can't pass like 6-figure numbers flying at you like that. It's just doesn't mean anything. It's just a wall
for me,
number
I just lose it. Like it kind of blends. I remember I see everything differently than most people. So for me, it just kind of disappears if I don't like either change the font or change like where it can pop up on the screen, for example. Like sometimes on really big enemies, the flying text is just off the screen because I'm like, yeah. So being able to like center it to my screen or place where I want my flying text on the screen or changing the font, all of those things. I'm a huge advocate for stop giving me shit. Chat's like flying text and wingdings. Stop. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't want it in.
I just want to change it on a Comic Sans.
I don't want it in wingdings. I just want different readable fonts. I mean, but now that you've said it, and besides, why would I do Comic Sans? I just have it in Arial black.
Yeah, you'd certainly notice it if it was in Comic Sans.
Yeah, to notice it is certainly a way of putting it. Oh man. And then new music, auto translate dictionary, and we're through. We're pretty much through the preliminary patch notes and an oddly on schedule patch note reading for us, since it's just about our normal 2-hour, time limit-ish time. Overall, a lot of really good stuff in here. It's always the quality of life that catches us off guard and causes the majority of discussion because we just kind of know what to expect from most everything else.
I like QOL.
Yeah, I like QOL. I like ocean fishing too. I can't wait for my dolphins and my seagulls. Like is a strong word. I get very angry. I don't know if it's fair to say I like it so much as I'm participating in it.
Masochism's a hard thing to define like that, isn't it? In those terms.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do know that I'm getting that title. I'm getting it.
Good luck.
I won't be defeated.
Good luck.
If I want to be defeated, I'll go to Ishgard. It'll be fine. I was really wish that had elicited a reaction. Alright, that's all I'm getting. Okay, that's fair. With that, I think we can wrap things up unless there's anything else we need to touch upon from this last week, such as the giant fucking chicken outfits we're going to be getting. Or we could talk about Yoshi P baking cookies.
That was good, wholesome content.
It was. Just as wholesome as all the memes we got out of last Friday. Well, the meme templates. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a you thing. That's something you did.
I didn't do. Listen, that was gonna happen. That was such an obvious template that everyone was gonna get to use.
It was a toss up. That's all it was. You just did a toss up. You just.
I just put it out into the world, and I said, I know it's already gonna happen. Everyone saw it and thought the same thing. Like, oh, well, that's gonna be a meme. There's one. There's a Japanese player. I forget who it is. They posted one that's 4 different images. And it's pretty much the equivalent of the Gru meme where he's flipping the thing. and it ends I think it's one where it's like this, then it's like this, then it's like this, and then it's it's him like super straight faced, like, just like, wait, what? That's a really good one. I gotta find that. That was a really good tweet, that whole template, because it works a little too well. Yeah, Yoshi P baking cookies is in PC Gamer. Yeah, it was. Dude, people like wholesome content. The other thing, I guess, that was kind of wholesome that's made the rounds is they did talk a little bit recently about Ultimate and what actually led to the development being delayed. And that's, of course, been making its rounds in discussion. Specifically, the 8 people who can actually quality test it because they're good enough. It's just too difficult to get them together because of COVID and their own responsibilities. Because they're not apparently on a dedicated team. They just pull them from their other teams. So I'm curious because he said they're going to be making changes to the way Ultimate's developed after this has happened. And I'm wondering how much, if that's just a dedicated team and finding replacements for those 8 people, or making it so that them disappearing from their roles doesn't delay development of the other things. So I'm curious about that. But those are other things that have happened in the past couple of weeks that have been of major note, if you guys have been paying attention to it. He broke his spoon. I don't know why. The sentence Yoshi P broke his spoon is, in isolation, a great sentence. All right, and with that, gentlemen, let's wrap things up. No more spoon breaking here.
All right.
All right. So thank you to everyone for watching this week's episode. Next week's episode will be First Impressions on patch 5.5. It will not be Spoilercast, but we will do Spoilercast the week after. Now, I do want to ask you, Ethys, it's difficult. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How do we do this? Because there's part 1 and part 2. Now, to be fair, we're going to do a part 1 and a part 2 because we have Save the Queen for the second one.
Yeah. Yes.
So we will have 2 Spoilercasts. We will have Spoilercast part 1, Spoilercast part 2. I don't know what that means for Erzivia, however, because we would theoretically only do one of those after everything, and that's when we fucking forget and we lose every time. So
I think it'll depend on the density of the patch.
I agree.
Yeah. So
we've also
discussed how we feel about it in a couple weeks.
Yeah, because we've also discussed doing Erzivia Light, where we kind of, it's like pop quiz almost, where we talk about the lore in the first part. But like the general lore, and then we get into what is a mini Erzivia for the second half of the show. So we've got options open. That's
possible.
Yeah. So that might be the
the other way around, because if we talk about the lore first, and I'll be giving you the answers first.
No, you can skirt around.
No, that's fine.
That's why I said it that way. That's
why we said it that way.
That's why I called it a pop quiz, because that's what a pop quiz isn't. I'm going to grade you based on what you know, and then tell you afterwards without having taught you in the first place.
Yeah, it's just a test to see whether you can stay awake while I ramble about lore for an hour.
Think about how much better for you it'll be if you tell us in the first half, and then we fucking get it wrong in the second half. Think about that.
Exactly.
I have a little bit more faith.
That means we're just worse.
No, you don't.
We're just worse than usual then.
Do you not remember how this show started? No, you don't.
What are you talking about?
No, we have no faith in us. We don't. So how can you?
I have some.
That's a lie. So we do have that. We do have a handful of shows. There's probably a few other topics that we're going to be touching on. Obviously, FanFest. We want to do something special for that. Obviously, we did the live streams last time. It's even earlier. Well, for you, it's dog shit times at this, but you're going to be up for it anyway. So
yeah, definitely.
So at least for the main portion, since they're on 2 different days, we kind of have to discuss doing. What about the other panels? We probably can't watch the concert live. I sincerely doubt they'll let people restream the concerts or the other piano. And not to mention, it'll be fucking 4 in the morning by the time it all ends, so I don't even know that I want to live stream for that. So we will be doing coverage on all of that, on 5.5, on 5.5 Part 2, on FanFest, and I'm sure that going into the later months, they'll have trickles of other things for us to do shows on, plus topics of stuff leading up to Endwalker and all that good junk. So shows for a while, until there's nothing to do shows on, which will happen at some point. I guarantee it. I promise. And then we'll do TBGs about hopefully Final Fantasy 16 stuff if we get any of that during the summer. I'm really hoping for something during the fucking summer. Please. I wanted to do one on Monster Hunter, but it came out and Sly can't leave playing Monster Hunter to do the show. The following week we couldn't do it because we had the live letter and everything. And then this week,
I mean, we can.
We can.
We can.
But I mean, we have title update 1 to kind of work around, I suppose.
Wait on.
Which is really the full game release, in my opinion. So.
Full game release is next year when it comes out on PC.
Oh, fuck you.
I knew it was coming. If I didn't say it, somebody else was going to say it. There you go.
God damn it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a beta.
Yeah. All right. So with that,
fucking terrible,
gentlemen, time to sign off. Ethys, where can they find you at, my good sir?
You can find me YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places. Ethys Asher, as Mike was mentioning a little bit earlier. On my YouTube right now, we have a D&D Final Fantasy 14 one-shot with these 2 jabronis and our friend Leek Wibble playing as the Company of Heroes, which was so much fun. And the last part I'll actually be putting up pretty much right after this on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be up now. You can watch all 4 parts. And yeah, it's a really great time. It's a very sort of experimental new mode of content for me that I'm hoping to continue doing more of periodically in the future. I've got one planned at the moment, which we're probably going to record in the next month when I rustle up some guests, which is going to be based in the conflict between Uldar and Sylvia in early 6th Astral Era, which I'm really excited for as well. So keep an eye out for that, along with all of the usual lore content over on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, you guys know me. Sly?
No, hold on at this before you go
okay.
on the slide. Speaking of part 2, you want to check your social right
now? Check my social.
Or just check the chat. Just check the chat below the call.
Oh God.
I mean, I did ask for it.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
It's out. Yeah.
That is magnificent.
Yeah, it turned out a lot more innocent than I initially intended. Yeah,
the community works.
It's a lot more passionate. Fast. Yeah, it's a lot more passionate than I expected it to be.
Well, Stygian knows how I really feel.
Yeah, it doesn't say "fuck them kids" though, but it comes with the first image. If you combine part 1 and part 2, then it makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah,
I want to get that framed.
Oh my fucking
boy.
Jesus.
Okay. So now, Sly, where can I find you at?
The usual twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox, Twitter at Sly the Fox, Rise, helping people out because I don't need anything. Well, I'm working on Gunlance right now, but you know, I don't need shit. I just want to help people. I just want to play the fucking game some more. And then of course, you know, 5.5 part 1 next week. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And Happy, where can they find you?
So they can find me just looking at this picture that I'm still just looking.
Oh my God.
I'm hiding now.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I wish I loved any pillow as much as you love that pillow in this picture.
Yeah. Find a man who'll look at you
like, it can be an Inception.
Looks at these guys' pillow.
It can be an Inception picture of Mike holding a pillow of this picture.
Me holding a pillow of the picture of you holding a pillow.
There you go. We did it.
Oh my fucking God. We've gone, this rabbit hole never fucking ends. Because then Sly can hold the picture of me because he suggested it.
I don't want to hold shit.
Too bad I just said it. So now if it happens, it happens.
Nope.
You can find me, Mr. Happy127, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I've actually been posting there again since I started cooking again. So, I mean, the cooking content's on my Twitter as well. So, I made a salmon BLT last night with a nice sauce. I made the sauce was a little bit of mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, dill relish, honey, salt, pepper, paprika, onion powder, and minced garlic, and put that on a sandwich. I got some in the fridge now. That's gonna be good. I'm gonna have that with a little bit of my leftover salmon. That's some lunch. I'll make some vegetables or something. That'll be good. I'll make a steak tonight. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. It's been good. It's a lot of stress relief doing cooking because I get to be excited about something. It's the first time since I started doing what I'm doing now that I have a hobby outside of what I do for a living.
Oh my God, it's about fucking time.
Yeah, I know, right? Think about that. That's been 7 years that I haven't had a hobby. That is also what I do for, which to be fair, I post this on social, so it kind of is what I'm doing for a living.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I'll give it 6 weeks before you start doing cooking streams and just turn it into work.
I don't ever want to stream my kitchen. I don't like streaming my kitchen because we have like boxes or mail. There's too many items that are adjacent to my cooking area that have personal information that I don't feel like removing from the vicinity. So
fair enough.
I'd rather just post pictures and maybe like a story or something on like YouTube or Instagram at most, because I can heavily audit that. pretty much. So I'm gonna be doing the recipes when they put them out. Not live, but when they put the recipes out, Sly and I we gotta do some cooking. He actually does cook in live streams now. I'll just post the pictures.
Well, the cookies recipes.
Yeah, I don't want to bake cookies. I want to make food. I can find 1,000,000 cookie recipes. I don't need to make those. I want to make the croquets or some shit like that.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So be on the lookout for that. So on that note, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week for our first impressions of 5.5. Spoiler-free first impressions. So relax a little bit there, Ethys. Are you joining us for that, Ethys, or not?
Maybe. Okay. I'll see. It'll depend whether I've done the MSQ yet.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try and line up another guest just in case, and then we'll have 4 guests if you do decide to join us. And if not, we'll have 3 anyway. So thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your Fridays and your weekends. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you next week.